Today we have with us Mr. Rajarshi Banerji. Till recently, he was Vice Chairman of MPEDA. Currently, he is President of Seafood Exporters Association of India, West Bengal region. He is an authority in aquaculture, seafood exports, and seafood business.
Thank you very much, sir. I'm humbled and honored by you allowing me this forum to express my views. Sir, aquaculture and seafood exports is actually one of the fastest growing agribusiness sectors in India as on today's date. Because today's micro entrepreneur will become tomorrow's giant. We have got examples in the seafood industry. There are several people, all my friends, colleagues, and members of my association. I'm the president of the Seafood Exporters Association, as you know, sir. So these boys who have now become men, they used to supply material worth 1,000-2,000 kg to seafood factories 20 years ago. And now these boys, they've turned into men and their turnover is 200, 300, 400 crores. So people starting from zero. Some people say that if I don't have anything, how will I grow big? I do not believe in that, sir. I have got live examples in my industry in West Bengal where people have started with capital of 5,000 rupees and they're now doing business of 100 crores. And set up enormous, huge infrastructures. The best infrastructures of West Bengal, some of the best infrastructures of West Bengal in terms of seafood processing and exports have been set up by these boys who were minuscule only 15, 20 years ago.
That is wonderful. In fact, that's what we wanted to hear from you, that the spark, the importance is to start, perhaps. The beginning is very important.
To start. So entrepreneurial spirit is the main thing and drive is the main thing. What I would like to tell the youth through your August forum, sir, is that if you don't try, there is no chance of getting anything. If you try, three things can happen. One is that you will become successful in whatever you're trying to get. Second, you will not become successful whatever you're trying to get. And third is you will become successful in whatever you're trying to get, but after some time. But in any of these three things, the possibility of you losing something is very, very small. What is wrong in trying? Approach the officers, approach the department, speak to them, and tell them that this is what I want to do. Somebody may have land, somebody may have a pond, somebody may not have anything, but may have a group of people interested in doing this, and they can go out and seek out possible areas of opportunity in the fisheries sector. And I'm sure they will get support. Let us understand the sector. What does the sector entail? The sector entails two major subdivisions. One is the aquaculture part, the other is the processing and exports part. Now, the aquaculture part of this marine sector has other subdivisions like feed, the pond preparation, the seeds, the culture practices, the introduction of IT in aquaculture practices, and so on and so forth. Apart from that, we also have capture fisheries. That means the marine fisheries where the boats go out to the sea and bring the catch back to the shore for the purpose of domestic consumption as well as for exports. Now, what are the subdivisions in that? Modernization of boats, modernization of harbors, and there are job opportunities and youth opportunities in each of these activities. Handling of the cargo after they land on the shore, the icing part of it, maintenance of cold chain, setting up of pre-processing centers, and transportation sectors, which help the aquaculture and the marine capture sector both. Now, so aquaculture and marine capture are the two areas from where the raw material comes from, and there are plethora of opportunities. For example, if we take aquaculture sector, for example, there are opportunities like a simple person who does not know anything about aquaculture practices or the science behind it, but he's a local person and he can make himself an expert in pond preparation for aqua farms. Now, pond preparation is itself a very, very extensive activity. There are new ponds which are being built each year. There are ponds which are in existence but which need repair and modification. So a person with civil engineering knowledge or some local earthwork knowledge also has opportunities of getting himself gainfully employed or developing his entrepreneurial skills in the aquaculture sector. Similarly, if you go to the marine capture, simple things like repair of boats, servicing of engines, transportation of fuel, organized transportation of fuel from the source points up to the harbors, the repair and maintenance of harbors, modernization of harbors, all these areas have got opportunities for youth. For someone who wants to get directly involved in the aquaculture part of it, there are opportunities like developing grow out ponds, then developing a business of franchise of seeds. There are many seeds and seeds hatcheries which are located in along the east coast. They are looking for agents who will sell their seeds. So a youth can actually set up. Many people have already done it. Others are still doing. But with a growing sector, the opportunities abound. Somebody can become a agent for a seed or a feed company. Then there are opportunities of setting up of a aqua shop from where you can sell medicines and chemicals which are required by the farmers for use in the aqua ponds. You can take the distributorship or franchise of medical and scientific inputs to the farms which are required, and then distribute the same among people who you know. You can take, once you take the distribution of the seed, if it's a local person where the sector is growing, where aquaculture is growing, if a local boy or a group of local boys take up the seed franchise, then they will sell to the local farmers. Now what I'm trying to say is that the local youth, if they can get themselves organized, they can actually perform a lot of these accessorial and support activities which are required for the sustenance and the growth of the aquaculture sector. Then there are other activities like actually doing culture of prawns, culture of other species like mud crabs. There is a mud crab fattening project which is also very highly profitable. Then you can culture other species like tilapia, other catfish varieties. There are many alternative species which are also available in the aquaculture sector, which does not require very high investment. Our fisheries department has a investment and business promotion unit. They have got publications, they have got officers sitting there waiting to support to start small scale operations in the fisheries sector. So this is what I'm talking about is the aquaculture and the marine capture sector. Similarly, in the processing, there are opportunities of setting up small packaging material units, supplying various inputs which are required for seafood processing. There are input items like chemicals, like refrigeration gases, and many other items are required in the seafood processing. There are transportation opportunities. There are opportunities of setting up cold chains for storing of the cargo. So various types of opportunities, whether in the culture sector, whether in the capture fisheries sector, or whether in the processing sector, actually exist for the new entrepreneur who wants to enter into this fast growing industry. So a couple of days back, actually confirmed that the India seafood export sector has had a spectacular year despite COVID, and it has grown to close to $7.7 billion, an all-time high in terms of seafood exports from our country since independence. And the growth has been close to 20% CAGR. Now, the issue is that we are only scratching the surface as far as this particular sector is concerned. The reason why I say that is that India is a big country. We have got a big population of 1.3 billion people, and there is potential of a huge domestic market developing. In other large countries like China, where seafood aquaculture production and seafood exports have grown, simultaneously a major domestic consumption industry has prospered. So India, we have not actually touched the surface of that till now. Let me start off by saying that West Bengal actually has the largest brackish water area out of all the states of India. Now, which is close to about 4 lakh hectare. Andhra Pradesh has got a brackish water area of 1.6 lakh hectare. Now, what does Andhra Pradesh produce out of that 1.6 lakh hectare of shrimps? The production of shrimps in Andhra Pradesh is close to 6 lakh tons. In West Bengal, with 4 lakh hectares, we have now utilized about approximately 80,000 hectares, and we are having a production of shrimps of 1 lakh ton. Now, first of all, there is huge possibility of expanding the aquaculture coverage area, and we are absolutely at the threshold of enormous and spectacular growth in the aquaculture and seafood sector. The opportunities for youth actually range from very small investment up to medium size or large investment.
That's great, Mr. Banerji. It's a huge opportunity, a lot of activities, but do we need any skill development or training for all these activities? Because these are all multifarious activities along the chain, isn't it? So, do we need specific skills for this?
Sir, if the activity pertains to selling and distribution of products, I've not even mentioned about the supply of the raw material. Supply of the raw material itself is a very prevalent and very popular business already. But if somebody is looking at retail or distribution of fisheries chemicals or inputs or seeds or feeds, not much skill development is required. It's basically the basic entrepreneurial skill, how you will control your business, how you will control your finances, how you will control your operations and manpower. What is required in any other business, that kind of skills is sufficient for running such activities. Now, if the person wants to enter into specific services, like how to specialize in repairing of marine boats, or how to give IT inputs to the culture or the processing industry, or how to do a culture of a specific diversified species like mud crab or tilapia. Those are areas where the specific skill development may be required, and there are various bodies of Government of West Bengal as well as Government of India as well as NPDA which are available for providing that consultancy, that skill development, and that advice to entrepreneurs.
Mr. Banerji,
And National Fisheries Development Board, sorry, sir.
Please,
National Fisheries Development Board, I don't think I should say anything because you are much more aware than me on that subject. They also play a very critical role in this entire chain.
Exactly. So I had the opportunity to be chief executive for a couple of years there. So
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Mr. Banerji, you are associated with this sector for several years, and you have been promoting this sector, not only exports, various activities related to this aquaculture and exports. See, we have a serious problem of youth and also unemployment. So, how do we encourage our children, our youth, that taking up enterprise like this is also a worthy cause or a social prestige or social recognition? People think about these enterprises versus jobs, but there are not many government jobs available. We all know that. So ultimately, we have to produce more and more entrepreneurs, and we have to attract youth towards enterprises. You are an expert on this because you are an entrepreneur. You have done it yourself. So how do we tackle this issue? Because I asked this question to various people like you who are experienced in several sectors. This is an area I think we have to address, perhaps.
Sir, government officers, if people who are knowledgeable, if people can approach them, I find that in most cases, they are more than willing to share their knowledge as to how to go about and develop that particular person. It requires an initiative, it requires a drive on the part of the entrepreneur to actually approach the business promotion unit to seek their advice how they can go through the process of setting up whatever the small venture which they are doing. And I think, they will get help there. I do not think that, they will be refused flat on. And I think, also one good starting point is the district fisheries officer. If the district fisheries officer is approached, I think the youth will find that more often than not, that person will be more than willing and forthcoming to come forward to help and handhold the youth. And MPD has got various bodies which provides the skill, the scientific support, and various other input support as far as the fisheries and the aquaculture sector is concerned.
And also, the entrepreneurs, the new entrepreneurs, the beginners should go out, meet successful entrepreneurs, visit the places, visit the facilities, isn't it? How do we learn otherwise? Because it's being immersion in success stories. That is very important. Can you tell something about this?
Sir, that depends on who is trying to do what. For example, somebody who's trying to set up a aquaculture input shop or aqua shop for the aquaculture inputs. If we take him to a seafood processing plant, it will not make any difference for him. He needs to visit a successful aqua shop. For example, the youth of Midnapur. For example, IFB Industries have had aqua shops in the aquaculture areas for many years. So if somebody wants to set up a aqua input shop, the right destination for him to go and visit would be an IFB aqua shop to see what kind of models they're operating. If somebody wants to set up a mud culture, then he should visit a successfully operating mud crab culture pond. Now, so we have to find synergies into what the person is trying to do, what is his SWOT, strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats, and whether his proposal seems viable, and then match him to a already successfully operating venture in his particular field. Am I making myself clear, or am I confusing?
Very, very clear. So after going through this discussion, so I would like to say that there is need for a tremendous push also from government and also from the system, because youth need guidance. Youth also need that motivation and spark, because they may not be knowing what are all the opportunities existing, not only in government, but government support is part of it. The most important thing is the entrepreneur has to come forward with a proposal, with an idea, which has to be developed, which needs to be given confidence also, because entrepreneurs need confidence initially, isn't it?
Yes.
So that means there is a huge, because as you said, the sector, we have not even scratched the surface. It's a sleeping giant, you said. So if the sector is such a big thing, opportunities are existing. So it makes sense, because we are creating wealth, we are creating employment, enterprises, opportunities for our youth. So isn't it that we have to be a robust program to attract, to motivate, to bring youth? Your thoughts?
Hello. Absolutely, sir. What I can tell you is that now it's 2022. By 2030, this talking about India as a country, this sector will double. Wherever we are, we will double by 2030. Because the stride which the industry is making as a whole is like that only. So aquaculture is going to grow. All the inputs to aquaculture is going to grow. The marine capture fisheries is going to grow, because the Sagarmala string of ports are going to come up. There are several harbors which are coming up across India. In West Bengal also, Tajpur is going to get converted into a port. The Petuaghat harbor is being developed. So capture fisheries, culture fisheries, as well as the processing and export industry, everything will grow in West Bengal. Now, it is up to the entrepreneur to come forward to actually approach the government to say that these are my strengths, these are my weaknesses, how can you help me?
Yes, Mr. Banerji, thank you very much. You have given a wonderful overview of the sector, the opportunities. See, the preservation, the transportation, the scientific handling, harbors you mentioned, and also the ice or lack of it, the transport, the way it is transported, still it is primitive in many places. So we lose 30 to 40% of our produce because of wrong handling and inadequate infrastructure. So these, as you said, these present an enormous investment opportunities for youth, isn't it?
Absolutely. Sir, if somebody can bring out one refrigerated van, one small refrigerated van, in an area where aquaculture is taking place, even that itself is a profitable entrepreneurial venture, because that insulated or refrigerated van is going to be continuously used by either the people in the supply chain or the farmer himself to harvest his crop and take it to a seafood factory. So from small to huge, all kinds of opportunities abound in this sector.
Thank you, Mr. Banerji. It's wonderful to talk to you. We got a lot of insights because you are the person in the field. You are a successful entrepreneur. You are also driving several enterprises, helping many people to grow. It's wonderful to know about the enormous opportunities that are existing. Thanks a lot. Thank you.